Hi, my name's John Price, and this is a presentation on bridge bidding made easy for the OVERCALLER, and it's aimed at intermediate bridge players. The role of the OVERCALLER, well, an OVERCALLER is a frustrated player because they've got an opening hand but the opposition have opened before them. So really the OVERCALLER is there to spoil the party of the opponents who think they're going to get away with an easy contract. So your aim is to cause as much chaos and confusion as you possibly can to those opposition. So I guess a better name might be you are the spoiler rather than the OVERCALLER. Trouble is, in my system of making bidding easy, I'm only going to allow you one bid to do this. So, when can you be an OVERCALLER? Well, if it appeals to you, then be warned. The entry requirements are pretty high. If you don't have an opening hand, then you don't qualify as being an OVERCALLER. Now, a lot of advanced players who just have happened upon this presentation are up in arms and are shouting at the screen at this moment. Yes, it's true that advanced players are able to perhaps bend a few rules here. But for me, if you are an intermediate player, stick to this. If you want to be an OVERCALLER, then you need to have an opening hand. If you don't, then you still might be able to get into the melee and become a spoiler if your partner has bid and been an OVERCALLER, and then you can be what's called the advancer, or I would like to call the assistant spoiler. So, if you've got an opening hand, will you be able to overcall? Well, yes, most of the time, but not all. And when you can qualify, you can use one of three possible methods. Method number one. You just bid a suit. So, you can only overcall a suit if you have an opening hand. Remember, look at your hand and think, would I have opened if I'd had the opportunity? The answer is yes. Then that's okay. You may overcall, as long as you've also got a suit that contains 5 or more cards. That's really important. So you can only overcall if you've got an opening hand and a suit containing 5 or more cards. And that suit contains 5 or more high card points. Okay, advanced players will ignore rules such as this, and I'd have to say that most advanced players will often overcall with only 8 or 9 high card points. Remember, an opening hand needs at least 10 high card points and at least 12 points overall to be deemed an opening hand. They will only open at overcall at the 1 level with 8 points, high card points. And they are prepared to face the consequences because doing this sort of thing is risky and can lead to disastrous results. I recommend that if you want to have an easy and happy bridge life, then just stick to only overcalling with an opening hand. Method number 2 is using the double card. You double the opening bid. So you can overcall a suit bid with what's called a take-out double. You play the card, the double card, but it's a take-out double. And you can do it if you've got an opening hand and you've got 3 or more cards in all of the other unbid suits. Now that's not all that common that you can have that particular facility, all right? If there are 3 unbid suits, there usually are, then you need to have 3 or more cards in each of all of those suits. Why? Because with a takeout double is a pretty risky little ploy, because if the next player, that's the partner of the opener, passes, then your partner has to bid, even if they've got 0 points. That's why, in this case, you definitely need to have an opening hand, but you've also got to have support in all of the other 3 suits, so that when your partner chooses one of them, you've got a reasonable chance of doing okay. There's another option. If you really do have a good hand, if you've got a hand of 15 or more high card points, then forget the thing about the 3 or more cards in the unbid suits. You've got to do something with a hand like that, 15 or more high card points. So what you do is just do a take-out double and hope that your partner comes up with something that you can support. If they don't, you may well have to bid again, but it's worth the risk with a hand with 15 or more high card points. If the opener bids a weak no trump, then what you can do is you can use the double card to overcall. But you can only do this if you've got a balanced hand of 15 or more high card points. Now I want to point out here that this is not a take-out double. Your partner does not have to bid. And it's not a penalty double either. It's not saying, I think that one no trump will go down and let's leave it in, let them play the hand and hope to garner lots of extra penalty points. It's not that either. What it is a descriptive double. It's saying to your partner, hey, we've possibly got the advantage here in the number of high card points. The person who's opened has only got 12 to 14. I've got 15 or more high card points. Partner, decide what you want to do. And they may decide to pass and make your double into a penalty double. Or they might decide they're going to make a bid, which is sort of making your double into a take-out double. But it's up to them to decide. You're just describing your hand. You've got a balanced hand of 15 or more high card points. You're sort of trying to take back the role of being an opener. Method 3, you bid no trumps. So if you're overcalling a suit bid, you can do it with a no trump bid, but only if you've got a big hand of 15 or more high card points and you've got a balanced hand. And you have a stopper in the suit that's been bid. Okay, that's quite a lot of restrictions. A big hand, 15 or more high card points, and you've got a stopper in the opener's suit, then you can bid no trumps. Okay, let's have a look at some examples. Nice hand. We've got 3, 7, 8, 11 high card points. and we've got one extra for the fifth spade. It's a 12-point hand. You can definitely open in this. In fact, if I had the opportunity of opening, I think I'd open one spade and hope to bid 2 diamonds as my second bid, and that would be great description of my hand. But I'm afraid the opponents have got in first, and the opponents have bid 1 club. What are we going to do? It's annoying, isn't it? We had plans. It's a lovely opening hand, but now that opportunity is gone. We cannot be the opener. But can we be an overcaller? Okay, well, we've certainly got the opening hand values. That's good. But there were other restrictions as well. If we were going to overcall a suit, we need a 5-card suit. Aha! Of course, spades, no problem. And it's quite a nice suit as well. But it needs to be more than a nice suit, because the other restriction is having 5 or more high card points in that suit. And we've only got 3. Now, this business about having 5 high card points is in fact very important. Important for 2 reasons. One is you really do need to have, if you're going to be competitive, a good suit. And that good suit means having 5 or more cards and having some decent high card points in that suit. So although it's 5 cards, all you've got is 3 high card points. It's not strong enough. A second reason is if you ever do overcall, then when it comes to your partner leading at the very beginning of a contract, you didn't win it, so the opponents have got the contract and your partner's happens to have got the lead, then they will automatically lead any suit that you overcalled within the auction. So they'll definitely lead a spade, and leading it to something as uninteresting as Queen Jack is not good enough. You need to be leading to either an Ace Jack, that's 5 high card points, or maybe a King Queen, that's 5 hard card points. So I'm afraid in this case here, we don't have the opportunity of bidding a suit. What about a takeout double? No, sorry, that's also ruled out. Because if it's a takeout double, we need to have support in all of the other unbid suits. We need to have 3 or more in all of those other suits. And we've just got a singleton ace of hearts. So you have to pass in this case. You've got the same hand now, but a different scenario. This time, the opener opened 1 heart. Okay. Well, we know we've checked that we've got an opening hand. We can't overcall 1 spade, I'm afraid, because spades is not strong enough. But in this case, we can do a take-out double, because we have got 3 or more cards in all of the other unbid suits. The take-out double is a fantastic way of getting into the bidding. It's particularly good when those pesky opponents open with a weak 2 or a weak 3. That's really annoying. They've opened and they don't even have an opening value hand. And you can use the takeout double, usually, if you've got an opening hand, and you can get back into the bidding and hopefully win the contract. How about this hand? Strong hand. It's got 15 high card points and 1 for length. This is a 16-point hand. Certainly good enough for opening, but I'm afraid the opposition has got in before us. They've bid 1 spade. What can we do? Well, let's look first at, can we bid a suit? can we overcall a suit? We've certainly got the opening values that we need. And we've got a 5-card suit. Those hearts are great. Better than great, you've got 5 high card points, and you've also got the 10 and the 9. You've got 4 of the top 6 cards. Yes, I think we can definitely choose that option. And an overcall of 2 hearts tells our partner everything. We've got an opening hand, 5 cards at least in hearts, and we've got a strong heart suit. Same hand but different scenario. 1 club. How about this? Well, opening 1 club means we've got a second option here. We could still overcall with 1 heart, but you've also got the option of doubling. We've got support in all of the other 3 suits. Very good support, in fact. And whatever your partner says, and they may have to bid even with 0 points, you stand a pretty good chance of doing reasonably well in that contract. Okay, same hand, but this time the opponents have opened a weak 1-no trump. When you're playing ACOL players, they love to play a weak no trump. In fact, that's what they'll most often do. That's the nature of ACOL bidding. 12 to 14 points. So what can we do? All right, well, over 1-no trump, if we wanted to double, we'd need 15 high card points. We've got that. And we'd need to have a balanced hand. No, we don't do that. So that option is not on. So what about bidding 2 hearts? Well, I would recommend that when you're dealing with an 1-no trump, weak 1-no trump opener, then you just stick to either you're going to double if you've got a balanced hand, or you just stay quiet. Don't think you've lost out on getting a contract. Think of it this way. They've only got 12 to 14 points, the opener, and you've got 15, and those 15 points are sitting behind the opponents. They're going to have a real trouble in getting 1-no trump. So I think I would just pass there and see what happens. But a lot of people would bid 2 hearts, and a lot of people would do a double. Bridge sometimes has many different answers. I hope you found that useful. Thanks for listening.